Hey everybody, Side Gig Guy here. Today I'm going to discuss with you why you should never take an offer like this. And if you are, you might be doing something wrong. And I'm assuming that's why you clicked on this video, to find out what you may or may not be doing wrong. This is not an offer you want to take if you're a full-time DoorDasher. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because in this video we're going to talk about all the other expenses that a full-time gig worker might have. And then we'll compare a part-time DoorDasher to a full-time DoorDasher and how they may work out their numbers differently. So in this video, we're going to discuss the self-employment tax. We're going to talk about car wear and tear, a new car replacement costs. We're also going to talk about fuel expense. And then we're going to moosh it all together and find out what we get as profit if you're just a part-time gig worker versus if you're a full-time gig worker. And interestingly enough, the person who gave me this order is also saying that they're a DoorDasher. So I'm really hoping that they're just a part-time DoorDasher, because if they're a full-time DoorDasher and they gave me this for a tip, they may not understand exactly all the expenses that they're incurring. So this could be very valuable information, because if you stick around to the end, you're going to see the actual profit for a full-time gig worker and the hourly rate. So let's just walk through this $5 delivery and let's see how the numbers work out. So we know that we got $5 in gross income. We drove 5.6 miles. We know that also from the offer card. It took us about 20 minutes to make this delivery, so we're going to say 0.3 hours. And we know we drove 5.6 miles. My vehicle gets about 50 miles to the gallon, and I pay an average of about $3.20 per gallon for gas here in Georgia. So that worked out to about 36 cents in gas expense. Now, if you're in New York or you're in California, you're going to be paying more for your gas expense. But here in Georgia, 36 cents for gas. Now let's compare a part-time gig worker to a full-time gig worker. A part-time gig worker is somebody who does this for extra money and has a regular full-time job. So really, in their head, they're only thinking about the things they have to pay for. They have to pay for gas and they have to pay their taxes. So on the right-hand side, you'll see that there's first a mileage deduction of $3.67. That's because for every mile that you drive, the federal government will let you deduct from your gross receipts 65.5 cents for every mile that you drive. So that's a really healthy deduction. That's $3.67. That brings your net income down to $1.33. That doesn't mean you only made $1.33. That just means you only have to pay taxes on that $1.33. So that works out to only a self-employment tax of 20 cents. Your self-employment tax is 15.3%. And what that is that's your Medicare and your Social Security. If you've got a regular job, you still pay that, but you pay half and your employer pays half. If you're self-employed, like a gig worker, then you pay both halves, which is 15.3%. Or 20 cents in this case. Now we're going to skip the car savings and car maintenance just for now, because we're talking about just a part-time gig worker. And so when you take those numbers out, your profit after gas and tax is $4.44. So that's not too bad. You know, $5 gross, and then you netted $4.44 after you paid for your gas and you paid for your taxes. If you were to extrapolate that out for a whole hour, you could make about 13 bucks an hour. So that's not too bad. But what if you do this full time? Now, I know my name is Side Gig Guy, but now that I'm not working at Comcast full time, this is my full-time gig. All of my side gigs combined, like Grubhub, Uber, DoorDash, Amazon Flex, lump those all together, and that's my full-time gig. So I have to think about some other things that are very important. Like at some point I'm going to want to replace my car, and I'm also going to need to do maintenance routinely on that car. So those are those two lines in the middle. Car savings at 30 cents a mile, that's simple. I think this car is going to last another 100,000 miles, and when I need to replace it, I'm going to spend about $30,000. So I just am saving 30 cents a mile. That's how that works out math-wise. So that number is $1.68. Just for this trip, I have to put aside $1.68 for a new car replacement. And then the car maintenance, 9 cents a mile. You wouldn't think that adds up that fast, but look, it's 50 cents just to go 5.6 miles. I'm going to have to put aside 50 cents to do my oil changes and rotate my tires and things like that. So now, profit after all expenses, self-employment, car maintenance, new car savings, gas, tax. Did I already say that? Maybe I'll say it again. Tax. We're now down to $2.25. We've cut that $5 in half, more than half. So if we were to take those for an hour, runs like that, our hourly rate would be $6.62 an hour after we pay for all of our expenses. If you're a DoorDash driver, like this person is, think about that when you're ordering DoorDash. You know, if you order $20 worth of food, maybe you should at least tip 20%. That's what you would tip a server if you went out to a restaurant. And in this case, they got excellent service. They know they did. They were asking for some extra things in the comments, which I brought to them with a smile on my face, but I only got a 5% tip. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos and all this additional information. So if you are, subscribe to my channel and I'll keep it coming. Thanks for watching. Psychic Guy out.